Hartford puts a man down at center ice. Big hit from 24. Shot saved by Redmond. Rebound. He got that one too. Evan coming at the wing. Secret scores!
Big shot save made by Kovacic.
Front shot saved by Redmond. He'll hang on.
Welcome back to the Arctic Edge Ice Arena here on the south side of Edmond, Oklahoma. Under 4 minutes to go until player introductions here, and the Sooners are back on home ice for the first time in about a month or so. Alongside Christian Markey, I'm Caleb. So we're bringing you all the action with our friends Amy Acevedo and Lauren Simpkins later on this weekend. It's a Sooner triple header on the ice in a crucial part of the season as they try and push their way into the national tournament for the first time in a couple of years.
Well, Caleb, I got to say it's a lot warmer in here than the last time we were in here against Missouri State at the start of January, when it was about 2 degrees outside by the second game against Missouri State where that series was split. The Sooners went on the road trip for a little bit, and they faced off Colorado and split that series 1-1, winning the first game and dropping the second one. And then they next weekend played Alabama, where they swept. A huge third-period comeback sparked the Sooners' sweep as they swept Alabama for the entire season, winning all 4 games against them.
Yeah, and 2 big goals from Declan Martin, who we're going to see back at center ice. We saw him at center ice one time during the Missouri State series back in January. So big number 71, expect to see him at the faceoff dot for the first time in a little while, starting up in just a few minutes here.
Yeah, this season has kind of turned, to a point to where the Sooners are at their witching hour with the cutoff for nationals, where every single goal matters to a certain degree based off the computer rankings, which then get influenced by the coach rankings and all that for the ACHA standings. And that everything is so crucial with the way that the playoff format is set up, where the Sooners aren't going to be at the top of their division, so they have to be in a good spot in the Nationals rankings, ideally, somewhere better than the 20 seed, so that they won't be the first team out if a lower-ranked team makes it and wins their division.
Yeah, that conference auto bid is starting to loom really large because we saw 3 teams outside of the top 25. Now, granted, the top 25 rankings, there because it's a nice round number, reflects most other sports, but the top 24 make that final tournament for an even bracket. And right now, 3 teams, so 24 through 22, all bumped. The Sooners stayed at 25 after, maybe inexplicably in our eyes, Christian dropping in the rankings after the sweep of Bama.
Well, and like you mentioned, everything is so, matriculate with how these rankings work. You mentioned goal differential being a big thing. So Alabama at that point was ranked 63, and the Sooners were coming in at around 23. So that difference in where the Sooners maybe by the computer's eyes would have been expected to win both games by a lot more rather than having to try to boast a 4-goal comeback in order to win it would be the difference of why they aren't, as high as they would like to be right now at this point, even though they won both those games.
Yeah. On the other side of the ice, Grand Canyon coming in here, they've won a few straight against the Sooners. They won one on a Thursday like this back in the fall. The Sooners made a 3-game road trip out to Arizona, also facing off against the Wildcats, who they would defeat in overtime. Brendan Culbertson-Bond played all 3 of those games in what was just a marathon for the Sooners veteran netminder. But last year, Christian, maybe even more frustrating, the Antelopes swept the Sooners at home both times in overtime, and both times when the Sooners held a lead pretty late into those games. And it really felt like the growing pains of a team that just got a new coach. And this will be a huge test, I think, tonight as they come in here a year removed from that experience.
It will be. We've seen certain games, at least on home ice, where the series, the Sooners get a lead and it's either taken back and forced in overtime or lost in regulation. We've seen that happen a handful of times, so the Sooners haven't necessarily exercised those demons entirely this season, and it's something that I'm sure Coach Arvanitis wants to work with them on and improving so that they can, get those crucial secondary wins and sweep certain weekends so they can move up in the standings.
Yeah, kind of like a frame in bowling. That second toss is sometimes the really crucial one to move on where you need to go in the match. And here in the aggregate of the season, the Sooners looking to punch their ticket. We feel like they got to take care of business tonight against Grand Canyon. I think got to take care of business against Utah Friday and Saturday night. And if you drop one this weekend, the pressure really gets on you if you're the Sooners to steal one from third-ranked UCO, who both GCU and Utah will also see this weekend in a sort of Southwestern showcase, if you will.
It's an interesting finish, and it's somewhere that the Sooners really weren't in a place sort of last year, so it's nice to see that improvement on the other side of things, as it'll be interesting to see how BCB is utilized in these next 3 games as we head to the national anthem.
Starters and the anthem about to be introduced here. 20 minutes on the clock, and we are just about ready to get underway. We'll carry you the rest of the season here on OU Hockey TV. It's been a pleasure serving you all the first year of this broadcast on YouTube. Big thanks to everybody at their organization as well for hosting that platform for us, and we will step aside for the national anthem. Well, it's just about go time here on OU Hockey TV for the Antelopes up front tonight. Caden Henriksen, Hunter Schmitz, Booker Chakalaya, Sean Spring, Richard Landmanis, and Jacob DeMorinville between the pipes. Brendan Culbertson-Bond in net once again for the Sooners tonight. Mentioned Declan Martin in the open. He'll be on the wing of Will Bayard at center ice. William Blake also going to be up at center tonight. Hunter Howe and Connor Horn, the top defensive pairing for Coach Arvanitis on the back end, defending the blue line for Culbertson-Bond.
It's a little bit of a different line that we haven't really seen start a game this year so far, so it'll be interesting to see kind of how they perform this opening shift, an all-important opening shift at that, to set the tone for this weekend.
Certainly will. It'll be a tone-setting match on some busy ice this weekend, and we are back underway. Sooners will control the draw and try to force it into GCU territory. Nothing doing there, and Connor Horn will backhand it across the ice for Hunter Howe. They'll play it off the boards for William Barrett, and the Sooners have dumped it all the way in. And the Antelopes ice. This is Coach Arvanitis' best forechecking line here of Blake Martin. And now Hunter Howe will intercept the pass. Will Blake tried to get a shot away, couldn't do it, and now he'll backhand one along the wall for Baird. Baird on his forehand, tried to center one, nobody home. He was looking for Martin. Now Horton's shot goes just wide. Sooners are knocking on the door early, and they'll get a quick personal line change. Blake Swearingen hops on the ice.
Nice, strong opening shift there. Like we mentioned, exactly how things wanted to be drawn up by Coach. I'm sure didn't necessarily generate a stellar scoring chance, but it was enough to put pressure on early and have GCU on their heels.
Antelopes will push it into Oklahoma territory now. Culbertson-Bond manning the right post. Spinning away with the puck is Mikhailio Simchuk. They'll put it back towards the blue line where it's intercepted by Aaron Best, the newest Oklahoma Sooner. We were kind of talking amongst ourselves, Christian, before the game tonight about how much life he breathed into this team as he intercepts a pass at the blue line, speaking of. He'll get it below the net for Payne. Payne will stick handle around, try to put it behind the net. There's Best again. He'll backhand it out in front. Nobody was home. Ben Mondu, the nearest Sooner, but Barone will paw a puck down before it's intercepted and taken the other way by Brayton Hoosby for Grand Canyon. Hunter Howe on the far side will put a long pass forward. No icing here. Nate Payne got a piece of it, and Morinville will play it behind his net. Tristan Glass on the ice now, tried to center a puck for Cavalcanti. Nothing doing there. It's intercepted, and Tristan Tabico will break his way into the Oklahoma zone. Cameron Nealon will backhand one back behind the net where Culbertson-Bond, manning the left post, watches the puck back to the point. A weak shot was put on, and deflected out in front, never got home. Second opportunity is going to go off the shin of Hunter Howe, and he is slowed up in the corner. We'll keep an eye on that as the play continues. Connor Horn puts a check into his man in the corner, and he's locked in combat with Michael Lewis, and now the whistle will blow, and we will check on the status of Hunter Howe.
Yeah, he took a slap shot, looked like right to the knee. It did not look pretty. Be able to see if he gets up on his own power here.
Getting a hand from Cavalcanti and Tristan Glass, and gingerly on the right leg will be led to the bench, and earlier than anybody would have hoped, Anita Clark and the best training staff in the ACHA will see some action here, and we will get an update on Hunter Howe as soon as we can.
Fortunately, we haven't really had too many incidents like that, at least at home this season, where we've had to have our wonderful training staff come onto the ice. But unfortunately tonight, things have started early. However, on the game side of things so far, the pace seems like it's Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, but the other facets of the game, such as puck handling and other passing and shots, have not really been there for either team so far. It's been a lot of turnovers here early on.
So GCU will keep the puck in the offensive zone off the draw here. Here comes a shot from the point that BCB handles down in the butterfly, easily turning aside. And now Andrew Lowe will fling one into the offensive zone. It's poked at by DeMorinville, and now Lowe puts it out in front, and the shot goes just wide. Tristan Glass was knocking on the door. Grand Canyon will clean this one up and push it past the shoulder of Brendan Sinclair, and the Sooners back into their own territory now will backtrack and regain possession. Andrew Lowe, a long pass across the ice for Sinclair, gets it out past the blue line, and Grand Canyon will reset and dump it back in for a partial change. Back to center ice as Sinclair will back in one past the blue line and into offensive territory. Sooners don't have men here, but they're going to drive in. Here's Tristan Davidson back on the ice for the first time on our channel in a little while, and Sinclair putting pressure on the forecheck. Grand Canyon either way gets it back out of the zone, and away they go. Tristan Capical again will push one into the zone. Carson Glass, first one. Puck back in offensive territory for Oak. Sooners back in the offensive zone now. He apologized for any audio as a backhander from Baird is put aside. And now GCU will try to flip back into neutral ice. Sooners have been pressuring pretty heavily here in the opening minutes of this game. Just 4 minutes passed. And with 15:35 to go, Grand Canyon finally gains the offensive zone once again. So with that, the Antelopes have taken an early 1-0 lead in a cross-crease pass, and Oklahoma is going to have work to do trying to get back into this one today.
That was a beautiful feed over to Tristan Tabuco for the Antelopes, and they strike early. There wasn't really much the Sooners could do defensively. They kind of collapsed in on themselves on that. BCB was hung out to dry a little bit on that play, but kind of a weird start to this game, I got to say.
Yeah, not much you would expect is that right off the draw, Grand Canyon tried it again and nearly scored again, and they'll put it back out in front where Nate Payne had to be stingy and put the puck back out to the blue line. Mondu in the corner takes a hit to make the play, and now Connor Horn tries to get it out on his forehand. Can't do it as a 2-on-2 battle erupts behind the net, now make it 3-on-3. Grand Canyon wins it back up to the blue line as Nate Payne will put pressure on Gabriel Trichler. Behind the net again, here's Horn, tries to get it out of the zone, got caught in the skates of somebody. It's Gavin Ukele, who scored last year on this ice. Aaron Best into the zone, he's onside. No, it's in the paws of an Antelope, and now nearly a break opportunity way up the ice for Tropical again. One off of his stick at the blue line, he'll go off for a line change as Swearingen will take command in his own territory. Off the boards for Mondu. Nate Payne heads off for a change now. Mondu will push into the opposite corner and try and establish a forecheck. He intercepts the pass, puts it out in front for Best, who wasn't home. And now Swearingen gets it in deep again. Best tried to back him one out in front for Cavalcanti. He was diving away. Now Cavalcanti's wrist shot scores! Logan Cavalcanti has tied it just like that, and the Sooners knot it up a minute later.
When in doubt, just fired on goal. Great shot there by Cavalcanti. The defenseman there for GCU did not know where the puck was. It was a bad turnover, sloppy defense by the Lopes. And the man in net for GCU did not really have a good look at that. I pointed him out to you, Caleb, in warm-ups. I did not think he was going to be a starter based on the shots that he was letting up in warm-ups. And I know it's warm-ups, but that's there for you to kind of capitalize on.
So a shot sneaks past Jacob DeMorinville in the first game of this 3-game set, and the Antelopes now on their heels in a period that really feels like the Sooners have been on top of in terms of tempo. They just had that one odd man rush cost them. And it'll be a test of this team's mettle this year to see if they can recover from it. Antelopes nearly force another turnover in deep as Cavalcanti in on the play, backhands it to Lowe, and he'll escape the zone. Lowe knocked off his feet. Here's Glass and Cavalcanti 2-on-1. Glass walks in, tried to feed to Cavalcanti. They got caught in the skates of a charging Antelope defender. That was Hunter Schmitz, who started at center ice tonight. Horn lets one go. It's blocked away by DeMorinville. Now Glass in the corner will play it on his backhand. Luke Busher behind the net. First time he's called his name tonight will evade a diving Cavalcanti, who slips down to one knee. Rather low that was, who blew a tire. And the Sooners will get it back out to center ice. Connor Horn on the backhand as Arvanitas gets a couple of partial changes in while the forecheck keeps working. Just 6.5 gone as the Sooners in a 1-1 tie. Davidson keeps it in the offensive zone. Heads up play there, but it evades his stick, and now the Antelopes go the other way, 2-on-2, 3-on-2 if they hurry. Turning at the blue line and dropping it off now was Simchuk. He'll put it into the corner where Swearingen gives chase. He called for the puck back, but no one there for the pass. Simchuk again on his forehand now. Gets it away. Shot from the slot is deflected by Goldstein. It was Braden Hoosby who let it go. And Goldstein, active stick, puts it up into the netting.
Well, now we have a second to breathe. We can kind of break down what's been happening in this game. GCU's offensive game plan, they've been hanging out. Their forwards have been pressing up really high when the Sooners have been in their own offensive zone, trying to spring on odd man rushes. That they're peppering the Sooners with that, thinking that that is where the weakness is for them. So it'll be interesting to see how their game plan gets adjusted.
So we'll go back and take a look and make sure it was Cavalcanti who had the last touch on that goal. It looks like it may have been Best who got a piece of it out in front. There was some traffic, so we'll look again and make sure at the first intermission break and let you know during our coverage then as the Antelopes, now 2-on-2 of the far sideboards, will try to get another shot on Culbertson Bond.
We are a two-man crew tonight, so we're kind of working overtime here doing production and other things. So it's a little hard for us to catch every perfect detail that we might normally would.
As Culbertson Bond melts a puck down, Swearingen didn't take too kindly to Hoosby's intrusion of the blue pain. Hoosby looks like he is all right, getting back up to one knee now.
And in other news, Hunter Howe has returned back onto the ice, which is fantastic to see. Such an important defenseman for this Sooner team, having all those big bodies back there on the D-line.
Yeah, great to see Hunter Howe back in fighting form and hopefully back on the ice in no time as Ben Mondu wins a draw back on his forehand, but GCU sent 3 men to the puck and they'll recover it, wrapping it all the way back to the blue line. Pass to the far sideboards for Michael Lewis, and he'll back up to the blue line. Shot deflected, and Lewis will chase this one all the way to the far corner and spin on his forehand. Bassett delivers a check to Michael Lewis now as another battle along the sideboards erupts here as the puck doesn't want to find a home. 3-on-2 in favor of the Antelopes, but Bassett got a piece of the puck and pitches it out. Now Best, long pass to center ice. Here's Payne trying to push him one-on-one. He gains the zone, and never mind. Looks like they're going to rule that Payne entered the zone before the puck did.
The pace of this game, like I mentioned earlier, it's flying right now. You would not think that, this is the opening game of this Sooners weekend. They're playing right now like this is for all the marbles, and in some way it is. This is a tough weekend for the Sooners, and the next week they got to do it again against UCO, which is going to be an even tougher matchup for them, as that battle will be really determinant if they can even just squeak out one win to make nationals possible.
So Swearingen will dump it into the zone. Glass, it takes on 2 Antelopes, gets the puck away. Here's Lowe's shot that was powered by rocket fuel, but just wide. Barone puts a shot on deflected away by DeMorinville. aerial puck is in the skates of a couple of players. Landman is most noticeably there, and he'll pin his opponent to the boards. That's Tristan Glass, gets away with it. And now Andrew Lowe pokes it behind the net, where Landman again will take possession. Largest player on the ice escapes the zone out to center ice, and the Antelopes will push it back into OU territory. Here's Corey Podak, who gains the zone for Grand Canyon. Swearingen, first defenseman for Oklahoma, gets it backhand to it. It's held in at the blue line, and another fight for the puck erupts here as Swearingen wins for the moment. And Grand Canyon once again take possession back here. Aiden Michael will drive into the zone, dump it in. Lopes get a partial change here. With speed now, they make it back into the zone here. Fresh bodies on for Grand Canyon. Here's a shot from the high. Robertson ball beat from the high slot as Grand Canyon got a line change on it. The perfect moment, 10:49 to go, and the goals are coming in bunches at Arctic Edge tonight.
Really, but both goals that have been scored on BCB tonight have been tough situations for him. He was screened by about 4 or 5 bodies on that shot that was held just outside the face-off dot, and it was placed perfectly to put GCU up 2-1.
So Oklahoma will immediately dump this draw back into offensive territory and try to respond like they did earlier. There's Cavalcanti or Lowe, who got the tying goal a few moments ago for the Sooners, just a minute after Grand Canyon scored earlier. And now Connor Horn pushed into his own zone, drops it off for Carson Glass. Brendan Sinclair on his forehand plays it off the wall into Manchuk, makes a tight turn at center ice. We took no cushion of the ice here at center right below us today. A lot of games been played here at Arctic Edge recently, and even with the constant, Zamboni action out here between periods, there are some divots out there tonight that we're going to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. That's dangerous for players and the puck movement. You catch an edge in that, and your leg slips out underneath you. That could be dangerous, as well as the puck hopping up and hitting you in the face or body when you're not really expecting it can cause damage as well. So that'll be something to look for this weekend going forward, and how the conditions on the ice improve or deteriorate.
So Carson Glass took a big hit behind his own net, and Grand Canyon forces a turnover. They'll work it back out to center ice now. Brendan Sinclair forced one of his own. He'll backhand it. Grand Canyon bench calls for icing. It won't happen. Puck didn't go far enough, and Oklahoma will get a free line change out of this. So after bench pressure, Grand Canyon works it back in. Puck still along the boards, and apologies one more time. Thank you for your patience with us tonight as we try to work out any audio issues it might be having with the skeleton crew available in the mid-afternoon time slot, but we will make sure that's fixed by second period for everybody watching tonight as the Antelopes once again gain Oklahoma's zone, turning with it along the board. It is Tristan Tabigo, first goal scorer of the night. And BCB will play it off his forehand for Sinclair again. Goldstein rather behind the net, hanging on to it. He'll take it himself and start his engine up ice. Cross ice for Perone, plays it off the boards and escapes 2 defenders but can't get past a third. And right there, Mondu may have gotten away with a bit of a trip in front of us. Either will stay at even strength as Goldstein plays it on his forehand back out to center. Forehand shot all the way across for Perone as the Antelopes get a partial chip. Get it right back out in front again, nearly tying this game up was best. He'll force one back on net, winding it from the far sideboards as Nate Payne will forward one once again. Here's Best along the boards. He's driven by a couple of Antelopes. Here's Swearingen once again joining the fray. Nate Payne at the blue line, lets a shot go, blocked in front, never got through. And Swearingen puts it back out. Wrap chance from Best, wouldn't go. He's back down to one knee and gets back up to his feet now. Is put back in front. Here's Best, another shot that went just wide and high of the net. Sooners still knocking on the door here as Mondu gets it to Best. He'll walk, shoot one, it's gloved by DeMorandale. His nicest save of the night so far.
Really good attempts there by the Sooners on that last shift. Doing a lot of the work for the Sooners on that. Mondu trying to put in a shot. Once again, we do apologize for the audio issues. Those will be fixed shortly.
So Glass loses this draw in the offensive zone. It's wound all the way around the zone where Connor Horn couldn't keep it in. Away go the Antelopes now. Couldn't gain the offensive zone of OU, and Lowe will turn with speed and dump it all the way back around. Here's Glass. First one there in white. Plays it on his backhand back behind the net where it's intercepted. Cavalcanti tries to forward one out in front for Lowe. He wasn't there. And the Antelopes take back possession along the sideboards. Still in GCU territory. They'll get it past center ice now, working his way into the zone. Is Henriksen, and puck evades his stick, and it's pushed all the way back behind Culbertson Bond. So puck evades Cavalcanti, goes out of the zone, and we'll get what seems to be our first stoppage in a little while. 6:31 to go in period number 1. In a 2-1 game, Grand Canyon jumping out in front with 2 quick goals. Sooners were able to tie it momentarily, but since then, it really has been kind of all Antelopes in the latter half of this period.
I don't really think the Sooners have played an opponent that has forechecked this aggressively and trying to generate odd man rushes. It's kind of what the Sooners' bread and butter is with their offensive scheme. So they're kind of getting a taste of their own medicine here and trying to adjust quickly to stop these chances from happening.
So puck behind the net, Culbertson Bond on his right post, watching as Grand Canyon works it all the way around to the far point now where it's picked up by Trischler. He'll push it in deep. Back up top once again for Ukele. Ukele's shot blocked out in front, never saw Culbertson Bond. And now Barone plays it off the glass. Took a funky hop there off of those lively boards here at Arctic Edge. And the Antelopes backhand behind Culbertson Bond once again. Here's Blake. First time I've called his name since center ice in the beginning of this match tonight. And puck will skip on him. He'll get it to Declan Martin. It's deflected, and Martin on the back end of that play got a hit away. Looks like that was on Michael Lewis as the Antelopes now with Will Baird applying pressure get a partial change. Sooners get one of their own as well. 5:35 to go as the Antelopes will start their attack. Racing his way up the far side, Tanner Booth. And he'll get the zone. He'll shoot one on Culbertson Bond that went wide to the left side. Shot from Landmanis is deflected away. No one can get home there. And Landmanis once again will dump it in behind the net. Puck came out in front. Culbertson Bond melts that one down easily, and the Sooners will get away from what was nearly a high danger opportunity.
Antelopes are a speedy team. They don't necessarily have a lot of size other than Ryan Landmanis on the back end for them, but they're speedy and they're doing everything they want to offensively. They're setting up well, screening BCB on their offensive zone chances, and are kind of
Sooners off the draw, couldn't control it, but it's back behind the net now where Connor Horn and Carson Glass will try to tag team a couple of Glass off the boards now. It's pawed down by a member of the Antelopes and pushed all the way back towards the blue line. So puck out of play, and we'll get one more stoppage here with 4:34 to go in period number 1. Shots on goal total 9-8 in favor of Grand Canyon, where they have really started to jump out in the past few minutes. Culbertson Bond holding his net tightly.
shots are near even, but the scoring chances definitely in terms of how lethal they have been in favor of the Antelopes so far. As things wind down here in the first period, it'd be nice if the Sooners could try to get things knotted up and kind of talk about things in that intermission in order to move forward for the next two periods.
So Sooners able to get a power play on the back end of the play there. We'll get the call for you in just a moment, but 1:53 left. They have the man advantage and a big chance to tie this game up here. Grand Canyon won the draw. They got a shot away, but the Sooners are going to intercept that. Blocked in front, never saw the light of day. And here's Nate Payne starting his engine from his own zone. He'll dump it in cross crease for Tristan Glass. Glass, first one there on his backhand, gets it back behind the net for Payne. Payne winds it all the way around. Mondu holds it onside, plays it off the board for Best. And he'll wind it further. Here's Payne turning at the faceoff dot across the ice for Blake. Blake's shot was deflected in front. Rebound is there. Second try, and what a save by DeMorinville. His best of the evening.
I think I owe him an apology. Those were fantastic. To stop these really, really high scoring chances here for the Sooners.
So puck wound all the way down the ice. 55 seconds to go on the man advantage. Aaron Best knocking on the door. But the Sooners will get a line change here. Cavalcanti low. Bassett and Sinclair out with Barone, who plays it this way for low, right below us here in the booth. 3:15 left. That pass was intercepted, so back down the ice. 39 to go on the power play. 3:10 in the period. Barone dives in the zone, drops it for Sinclair. He'll wind it around low. The first one there in white. We'll survey his options, play on his forehand behind the net for Cavalcanti. He lets it go. And now Sinclair will play it up the boards for Barone. Barone back for Sinclair as they have a catch Grand Canyon. Another aggressive play here as Barone will deliver a check right in front of us to Braden Hoosby, playing very aggressively on the power play, on the penalty kill. Now Cavalcanti gets to it. 9 seconds to go in the main advantage. Behind the net for Lowe. Lowe surveys, has his puck caught in the skates, now gets it up to Sinclair. Sinclair tried to get it to Bassett. It was deflected, and that'll do it for the man advantage. Antelopes back at full strength now, but the Sooners knocked on the door a few times and had a good momentum-generating power play. Bassett near side for Lowe was intercepted and pitched back into OU ice, where Barone will turn away on his forehand. Being shouldered into the boards right below us by Jacob Cummings. 6 to go in period number 1. Sooners have taken the lead in shots on goal, 11-10, but down one where it counts still after Jacob DeMorinville putting on a show in the blue paint on the other side of the ice from us. Stoned Aaron Best a couple times in that power play.
With how aggressive the forecheck has been for GCU, it's honestly also kind of a W to not see them, even produce a shorthanded chance, which they was lurking there for them many times when the puck was turned over in the offensive zone for the Sooners, as that being a possibility, but they were able to stop that from happening. So good power play overall, I think, for Oklahoma here.
Yeah, this Grand Canyon team has shown us in about 19 minutes so far tonight that they are just a passing lane away from a scoring chance at any moment, as the Sooners have a pass deflected at the blue line. Swearingen, first one to it, will dump it back into GCU ice. Payne got a piece of it, but it heads all the way back out to the largest Sooner on the ice, Blake Swearingen. He couldn't get the puck away this time. Best on the backhand, got a piece of it, and GCU will dive back into OU ice, dropping it off for Mikchuk. His shot is swallowed by Culbertson Bond, and Simchuk trying to get on the board here as well with a $1:28 to go.
Shots evened up here at 11 apiece, and both teams really fighting hard. And you'd like to see the response from the Sooners happen, and it has in terms of scoring chances. They just haven't been able to find the back of the net since that opening goal by what we are trying to figure out is either Cavalcanti or Best, but a lot of chances for both teams in this opening frame.
So Glass loses the draw. A quick shot is deflected. Looks like Lowe got a piece of it, sent it into the netting. 1:25 to go, and we'll try that one again. A lot of block shots from both sides earlier in this game, and we're speaking about some all-time record holders for the Sooners. Matthew Reyes, all-time shot block leader, wearing number 6 last year. Shouts to him and a great tenure in the Crimson and Cream for Matt Reyes. As Cavalcanti on the forecheck couldn't get a piece of the puck. Here comes Goldstein on the back end, and he'll deliver a shoulder into his opponent on the boards. Tristan Tabucol, the first goal scorer of the night. Barone in deep from his spot, trying to apply some pressure. It's wiped all the way back around where Goldstein mirrors him. Puck back out to center here. Cavalcanti had to get on his horse to stop that opportunity, and we're under a minute to go here in period number 1. He'll push it back across for Barone. Barone on his forehand this way, escapes Low, and icing is waved off as it goes off the far right goal post right next to DeMorinville. 42 seconds left. GCU trying to establish a rush here. They have a chance for a breakaway, but Culbertson Bond, an aggressive play, out to play it. It's still loose, and no, it's pushed aside by Barone. Culbertson Bond had to dive, and now back skates into his crease. Still not sure exactly what's going on. Referee's arm stayed down, and a backhand into the zone from Trichler. Things calmed down a little bit in front of us. Cavalcanti will try to zone off his man. It's put back out in front. Culbertson Bond privy to that opportunity. And with 14 to go, the Sooners will still try to get us out of the zone. They can't do it. Now, looks like Tristan Glass gets a piece of it, and he will flip this one out to center. Pawed down by the Antelopes. This way, here they come. It's Gavin Ukele driving in. His shot went well wide of Culbertson Bond's net, and that will do it for period number 1. 2-1 in favor of Grand Canyon. Sooners knocked on the door a few times there, Christian, but just couldn't get it done at the power play opportunity they were given.
Well, glad we can take a breath here after that last chance for GCU towards the end of the period. Culbertson Bond, did the right thing there by leaving his crease and then going out there to play the puck and try to shovel it forward out of the zone to avoid the odd man rush, but it nearly was costly as he was hung out to dry with a clearing attempt that was failed on the defensive line for the Sooners, and they were able to keep the puck out of the net, thankfully, as that will wrap things up for this first period. Both teams having to leave outside the same exit due to some other activities happening here at Arctic Edge that has forced that door on the other end of the ice to not be in operation.
So a Cotton Bowl-esque exit for the teams here in period 1. We'll take ours as well for a few moments here. Back with a recap of period number 1 in just a few minutes here on OU Hockey TV. And so accompanied by the soundtrack here at Arctic Edge Ice Arena, back in OU Hockey TV, and just a few minutes to go in the intermission, and what, we kind of talked amongst ourselves, because it's been a weird game so far where both teams seem to be a stretch pass away from blowing this wide open on every possession.
From an analytical standpoint, it's really hard to break down who has the edge right now. Obviously, on the actual scoreboard itself, it's GCU with the 2-1 lead, but each team seems like they're so close. We saw so many chances where Best and Mondu had some really good shots on DeMorinville multiple times and nearly cracked into an even game. But I will take fault for, kind of maybe talking not the best about him in the beginning of the game with the shot that Cavalcanti scored on, and we have confirmed that his is a Cavalcanti goal. No one was really in front for a tip, so that will be awarded to him. But I saw it in warm-ups. I didn't really think to myself that was going to be the starting goaltender for GCU tonight based off what I was seeing in warm-ups. However, he has proven me wrong multiple times in that first period. We'll see how things go. The Sooners are definitely kind of taking a shot-first mentality so far offensively. We really have seen them pepper DeMorinville multiple times as they, are losing in that department 12-11, but we haven't necessarily seen them got out to the best first period starts with the amount of shots that they have produced on goal. This game, I think they have to be pretty happy with the amount of shots that they've had so far. Both teams defensively, for the most part, are keeping things sound. The Sooners are doing a good job of blocking those stretch passes from coming to fruition and springing a 2-on-1 rush for GCU. Otherwise, it would be a much different score right now.
Yeah, Sooners are, really relying on their backstop of Connor Horn and Brendan Colberts and Bond and company back there to, make sure that these stretch passes, because some of them have gotten through, and they have been, just like at the very end of the period we mentioned, they have been just a couple of bounces away from blowing this open 3-1 when they caught BCB out of his crease for a few moments, and it took the tandem of Tristan Glass and Connor Horn to keep the puck out of the net.
Yeah, both teams easily could have, one or even two more goals than is actually being shown right now on the scoreboard. But I alluded to it about halfway through the first period. It's kind of a taste of the Sooners' own medicine with how they like to play their offensive skills, putting those forwards up high when they're being pressured in the offensive zone, trying to spring them forward. The Sooners do score a lot of goals on the rush, and this is what GCU is trying to do back to them. They have a lot of speed. They have a lot of talented guys that are able to get open ice and are able to receive passes and try to generate shot opportunities based off of those rush chances. So we'll see how things look going into the second period and if the Sooners adjust or if GCU adjusts based on what we've seen so far in the first.
So Sooners back out onto the ice over to our left side. Coach is back to the bench now, and while we don't expect to see Hunter Howe this period, we will keep an eye on the bench to see if the Sooners' top pair defenseman does make his way back out onto the ice tonight. Know that shot block stung the sophomore defenseman pretty well early on in the first period, and 38 seconds to go as the teams flip sides. Sooners will be attacking from right to left across the screen to open up period number 2. 20 minutes back on the clock, and looks like William Baird's line will once again lead out the Sooners to center ice.
It seems like the type of game where no lead will be safe based on just how much both teams have shown that they want this game badly because of the importance of it in the standings that we have talked about so many times with Nationals looming ahead. No team is going to give up, so any sort of lead that we see here possibly happen in the second period is got to think would be quickly erased or fought back pretty hardly on.
So after 5.5 months of work, this will be an important 40 minutes to test the Sooners' mettle, and it really starts now, I think, with their response. After being down a goal after our first period, I think you can feel pretty good about how you played, but you don't like the result at all, and you got a chance to change it here in a 2-1 hockey game. Sooners looking to tie it, and we're back underway in period number 2. Antelopes won the draw back, and it's contested well by Mondu at center ice and wrapped all the way around where Connor Horn forwards it ahead. Antelopes intercept the pass quickly. Michael Lewis was the first one to it. He'll turn away, got his stick caught up with Aaron Best as it looks like the lines will shuffle up here at center ice. And, speak of the devil, here is Hunter Howe back at center ice. So the Sooners defenseman will be toughing it out for the rest of this game, it looks like.
All respect to him. Taking those shots like that really are painful and are scary at times, but he's out here now doing what he does best.
So Payne drives into the offensive zone. Mondu is also there on the play as it's wrapped all the way up to top of the zone where the Antelopes can recover here. Trichler on the far wing will dump it all the way back down center ice. Nearly got to the Sooner blue line before Barone threw a hit into his man, Michael Lewis, and sent him down to the ice. More bodies hit the floor right by the center ice line, and the Antelopes will recover here. Partial change on for the Sooners as the puck is dumped in behind BCB's net. This will be icing for the first time tonight, and 57 seconds later, we will head into Antelopes ice.
I'd like to give a shout out to Anthony Catalano for doing the camera tonight. We really appreciate that on this small crew we have of just Caleb and I running the show right now, so we appreciate that. It's a team effort up here. 19:03 left in the second.
Sooners lose the draw back, and here, wrapping it all the way around the boards, is Gavin Ukele. Carson Bassett will chase this one back. Another icing call, so we'll re-rack them and try to break it up again.
I think something that the Sooners want to look for in this second frame here is sustained offensive zone pressure time. We really didn't see too much of that in the first, but I think if they can control these faceoffs well early on and establish themselves in shooting lanes, they can really kind of get a step up here on the Antelopes.
Glass to the faceoff dot, facing off against Cameron Nealon, and gets tied up. Shot immediately by Cavalcanti, looking for his second of the night, and it went wide of the net, but still in the zone as Bassett fights for it off the blue line. Still ruled onside for the moment. It's caught in Bassett's skates, and now I think that one will finally escape the zone. Still fought for, and it trickles into center ice here. Lowe cuts off his man as Carson Bassett puts it ahead for Cavalcanti, and he's got some space to work with. Cavalcanti stops and spins and tries to get it to Glass from his backside. He's still down, gets back to his feet, and Tristan Glass will take possession in deep. Cavalcanti back into play now, loses the puck, and it's taken away by Simchuk, and he'll try to escape the zone now. Lowe dogging him with pressure as it comes this way for Hoosby. Tried to center one out in front. Hunter Howe got to stick to it. He'll spin, chop down in the corner, and a shot blocked by Connor Horn in front. Lowe's pass tipped by Cavalcanti. No icing here. It's waved off as Cavalcanti will chase into the zone. Luke Busher wrapped it around. Here's Blake holding on to it. He'll push it into the zone. Intercepted once again by Landmanis. Landmanis this way. Cross-ice pass. Here's a shot over the shoulder of Culbertson Bond and wide. Taken on by Luke Wright. Wraps back around the net now. Jacob Cummings giving chase. He's contacted by Connor Horn. Here's Landmanis. His shot on into the netting, rule the officials. Looks like it just barely caught the edge of the netting as it pitched into the air.
Good opportunity there for the Antelopes. BCB on a weird kind of, looks like the puck caught a piece of his blocker or stick and then off the glass. He was a little slow to get back over to the center of his crease. No rebound opportunity, thankfully, for GCU, which keeps things here at a 1-goal lead for them.
17:40 to go as he dropped the puck. Blake to the faceoff dot opposite Hunter Schmitz. Schmitz will win the draw up to the blue line. One-time opportunity is pushed aside by Culbertson Bond. Shot came from Chiklias, and the Sooners will push it up against the boards once again. Here's Sinclair as it evades his stick, Swearingen rather, as Martin now on the far boards will be pushed up along. Here's Landmanis again, backhanded up to the point. In deep shot, they score once again. Another deflected shot out in front. Looks like Chiklias got a piece of it, and with 17:21 to go, the Antelopes have doubled their lead.
That's a textbook tip shot there. Really good vision on that. BCB, was playing the initial shot, and it takes a deflection and puts things out up to a 2-goal lead here for GCU early, but we'll see how the Sooners respond. Like I said, it's kind of one of those games where no lead should be comfortably felt by either team.
And we've heard Coach Arvanita say before, it just takes one. And you saw last weekend against Alabama, sometimes it really does just take that one to go in the back of the net to start the rally. Declan Martin's line heads off now. Mondu Payne and Best will head out as behind his own net. Hunter Howe takes a big hit. Puck evades the glass, and looks like our official doesn't know where it is.
It's out of play. We can look at it right now from our vantage point in the booth. I think it went through the net. I don't think it cleared the boards below near the benches. I think it went through the net. But
maybe caught a gap up in the top of the netting here. So 17:09 to go. We'll draw to the left of Culbertson Bond, and Sooners will win this one back. Horn quickly wraps it around the boards. Here's Best, gets it off the boards for Mondu, and here they go. Potential 2-on-1 opportunity. Mondu with Nate Payne. Mondu's shot was blocked, and back out to the slot now. Grand Canyon will respond the other way. Getting into the offensive zone now. Colby Donovan will play on his forehand, takes a hit from Horn to make the play, and dumps it in deep where Corey Podak turns against Hunter Howe. Podak down to one knee, stays on his feet now once again, but Mondu will pick the puck away from between his legs and start the rush out with Aaron Best. Best, he is dogged at the blue line and will push this one into the offensive zone. Stays on his feet as Mondu couldn't hold it in. It comes back out to center ice. A couple of Sooners are there for it. And it's Bassett and Goldstein as they have a quick catch in the defensive zone. Bassett this way for Bassett, evades his stick. He will be ruled offsides, it looks like.
Bit of a premature call, in my opinion. He didn't really have a chance to get to the dots to try to beat that.
Yeah, icing, excuse me.
Long shift for him there. He's going to stay out, but... oh, well, we move on.
So 16:20 to go now. Sooners without a shot on goal so far in period number 2, and the draw comes once again to Culbertson and Bond's left, rocking the new all-red pads this semester. And once again, the Antelopes win it back. One-time shot right off the draw was a knuckleballer to Culbertson and Bond that he detects and will hang on to.
Yeah, something we didn't see in this first period was the amount of space that GCU has now kind of started to find to produce shots on a Culbertson Bond and look for rebounds or any sort of tip chances that they can get that they scored on initially in the first period. So that is what they have adjusted to, and they've adjusted to it well. We'll see what the Sooners do in response.
So a good 15 minutes in the locker room for Grand Canyon. They have showed it here, jumping out to a 3-1 lead now. 16:10 to go as Connor Horn spins behind his own net. Puck comes off of Cameron Nealon, and now a 2-on-2 battle for the puck begins along the sideboards. Push back behind the net. Hunter Howe will backhand it further to Manchuk. First one there for the Sooners. He's run into hard by Gabriel Tritzler. And now the puck back behind Culbertson Bond again. Here's Horn chasing after it. He'll sweep it out with the forehand to center ice. Where Carson Glass, he'll try to force a turnover in deep. Manchuk is there, has it in his skate. Sinclair, all three of them as Glass got the shot away finally. It was a weak one along the ice. And DeMorinville easily able to detect and push aside. Back out to center ice now. Demanchuk chasing after. He's got Hunter Howe to the far side. And if he wants it to goes backhand for Horn, and the Sooners have some space now. Here's Carson Glass. Tape-to-tape pass from Horn. He'll play it off the boards and try to get into the zone. Double teamed up by a couple of Antelopes. First one to it was Simchuk. And now back behind the net. Grand Canyon will start up once again. Simchuk on his horse into the offensive zone. Onside. Drops it off for Cummings. Cummings will try to push it up high, and Culbertson Baum picks it out of the air. Says, don't try that.
Really like that shift from Carson Glass. Not really a scoring chance, if you would, for the Sooners. However, he fought hard offensively to keep the pressure on as best as possible. Sooners nearly got caught on another odd man rush with the lack of spacing that they had, where all three players had converged on the puck simultaneously. Nearly disaster had that gone a different way, but we still sit here 3-1 GCU with 15:05 left in the second.
So Antelopes nursing a 2-goal lead now. Win the drawback. Lamley has thought about a shot, thinks better of it, and they'll play it to the far sideboards. Back up top. Here comes a shot from Chaklias. It wouldn't go through. Got blocked in front, I think. And now a sharp angle, winding shot is deflected out in front and into the netting for another stoppage.
I'm a fan of these GCU jerseys. You don't really see the color purple in the NHL, although it'd be nice to see whether Salt Lake City or whatever, Gary Bettman decides on to be the new expansion team, to see their jerseys maybe be purple or something like that to reflect the Jazz's purple in the NBA. We don't see it too much in sports, but I am in favor of purple jerseys.
It's a good look out here tonight. Pairs well with the Sooners, crimson and white threads. As once again, Grand Canyon wins the draw back. They've been dominant in the circle so far tonight. Glass will pick the puck away, however, and try to play it to Cavalcanti. He got in the skates of a couple of Antelopes, couldn't see who. And now Glass once again spins away with it. He'll play it to center ice. Cavalcanti tries to enter the zone. He was scissored away by two GCU players, and now Hunter Howe will dive all the way back into his own ice and play it forwards. Off the boards, low, spinning, trying to get the puck away on his backhand. Couldn't do it. And now Cavalcanti enters the zone. He'll leave it on his backhand for Glass. Glass is shot off the goalpost and wide as Cavalcanti tried to put it back out in front. Glass again pinned to the boards now, tries to break free in that blind corner for us here in the booth. He's in there with Lowe. Lowe gets the puck away, tries to spin a shot on it, was blocked. Now comes it back for Glass again. Howe calling for it at the blue line. Glass elects to go deep for Cavalcanti. No one there, now up top for Howe. Howe winding, takes a shot, now Horn. He'll let one go, deflected, and the Antelopes will survive the Sooners' sustained pressure.
Something we touched on at the beginning of the period. That's what the Sooners would like to do, is hold that offensive zone for as long as possible. We get an offsides call there, but again, not really a shot on goal generated from that opportunity, but it puts the Antelopes on their heels defensively to where they have to, adjust things differently for themselves.
13:43 to go after the Sooners' latest rally in the offensive zone. They got their first shot on goal of the period out of the way now. Antelopes leading 4-1 in that category so far, 16-12 overall, but it remains 3-1 where it counts tonight on the scoreboard. Bassett got a forehand to the puck in the neutral zone, but it's deflected away by a couple of Antelopes and pushed into the OU zone now. Goldstein dispossessed at the top of the zone. Here's Hoosby walking in, and what a save! Rebound, they score! Culbertson Bond got the first one, but Michael Lewis cleaned up the loose change, and GCU has extended the lead to 3 now, 4-1, about a third of the way through period number 2.
Really bad mistake there on that turnover right at the blue line, and we mentioned as soon as that puck is in open space, the GCU player's there to consume it. And Culbertson Bond made the initial stop, and it was a good stop, but for the Antelopes was there to clean up the rebound.
So look back to last weekend to see the last time the Sooners were down 4-1. They did come back to win that game after a flurry of goals from Lowe, Mondu, and Martin to tie it. Cavalcanti would score the final tally, and it looks like the Sooners will take their 1-minute timeout now, down 4-1.
Really not how they wanted to start this period, giving up 2 goals. I'm sure Coach Arvanites is going to have to pull some strings here in order to get his players back into this game. We talk, it's said so many times 2-goal leads are the most dangerous in hockey, but now when you get that third one, if you're GCU, you got to feel a little more comfortable with how you're playing and knowing that what you're doing is working. It kind of was a fluke goal to some degree without that turnover on that blue line. That chance isn't generated, so straight away from the pattern of how this game has been being played, but it makes a difference here, and the Sooners are kind of now on tilt here going into the remainder of this game as we're almost halfway through it.
Yeah, 26 and a half minutes played in the aggregate, if you want to look at it that way, of a 60-minute game, as Sooners coaching staff talks things over with the boys below us. Grand Canyon can't wait to get this back on with us. DeMorinville will lead his troops back out onto the ice, and the Sooners will look to find a spark. Down 3 in a crucial game in their season. Top 25 matchup here on the ice. Antelopes came into this weekend at 23, Sooners at 25 after dropping 3 spots in last week's rankings. And we're back underway now. Glass in the face-off circle will win it over to Sinclair, who plays it off the boards and tries to quickly dive into offensive territory. Taken by the Antelopes and played far off the sideboards into center ice, and Connor Horn will wipe it back in. Trishler behind his own net will try to wrap it around. He gets there, and now the puck back out to center ice. Hunter Howe will take control at the blue line and dump it back in as the Sooners get onside. Tristan Davidson chasing after as it's wrapped back once around by GCU and back out to center ice where Hunter Howe got a paw to it but couldn't keep command, and now we'll turn it back over at the blue line. Walking in are the Antelopes once again. Wrap opportunity is present. They'll try to put it out in front. Nothing doing there. And Howe will finally clean up the loose change. It was Simchuk leading the rush in that time.
Nearly deja vu on that Hunter Howe turnover at the blue line again, as it almost generated another scoring opportunity and conversion chance for the Antelopes.
Sooners have made an icing call there, as it looked like DeMorinville had to play the puck out of his crease, and Connor Horn will flip one into the netting here, trying to go off the boards, and we'll get a quick stoppage, and the Sooners can catch their breath.
Time isn't necessarily the Sooners' worst enemy at this point yet. However, they really don't want to concede another goal without at least getting 1 or 2 back before we head into the final frame of things here.
Want to remind all of our family down in Norman that next Friday night against UCO will be Greek night for the Sooners Hockey Club. Chapter with the highest attendance for the fraternities will walk away with a signed jersey, and for the sororities, a skate with the Sooners. Turn out and be loud here for what will be the final D1 series of the season for Oklahoma before a exhibition against the Oklahoma State Cowboys on February 24th in Tulsa. Cavalcanti back in his own zone now will start his engine on his forehand, puts it up ice for Tristan Glass, who looks for a friend. He's found one in low. Aerial flip to him. Sooners stay onside, but don't have much presence here, and they'll go for a quick line change. Here comes Payne leading his unit on. Barone, a nice pass between defenders. 3-on-2 for the Sooners. Here comes Lowe. He's got Glass and Payne. Glass tried to find Payne, went the wrong way for him as the Sooners got a bit crossed up and where they wanted to go with each other. Luke Busher back behind his own net, had it stolen away by Payne. Sooners still dangerous here as it back to the point for Barone. Barone, far side for Mondu. Mondu on his backhand, works it around where it's going to be taken by Landmanis. Intercepted again by Barone at the blue line. He'll put it in deep for Payne. Payne spins, gets it to his forehand, and couldn't shoot one away. It got blocked. Now Goldstein with space. He'll wind one on. Tipped in front by Best. Sooners couldn't get it to go. Goldstein again winds one on. Deflected away by DeMorinville. And finally, GCU will get it out of the zone as the Sooners have to regroup at center. It was Landmanis who got it out. Sooners in onside again now. Here's Mondu walking in with some space, and he plays it off the goal post. Aaron Best found him on the far side, and he walked in an awesome opportunity. Mondu behind the net again, lifts the stick of Landmanis, tried to get the puck away from him. As Landmanis tried to draw a hold, he won't get. 10:32 to go now as GCU finally gets the puck out of their side of the ice and gets a line change on. Second period short change. They're on the attack already as Bassett wraps it around the boards. Tried to get it to Best. Lively bounce back out to center, and the Sooners are going to have to ice the puck here to slow things down.
Really good shift there by that top line for the Crimson and Cream as Best and Mondu have had their fair share of shots here tonight, and they added a few more just on that last chance. But it does not come as a benefit to the score just yet, but if we see them kind of put this pressure on like they just did a few seconds ago, you got to think they'll get rewarded here.
I think you feel like you got to hold GCU off the scoreboard the rest of the period and at least get one of your own, and then you feel a little bit more positive heading into period number 3 as Payne will head right to left with Best on the side. A weak shot from the blue line is deflected away by DeMorinville, and we'll get a draw in Grand Canyon territory. So it looks like a new puck was procured from the side, and we're about ready to get started now. Carson Glass with the face-up dot against his opposite number, Hunter Schmitz. Glass will win this draw. Tristan Davidson tried to go forward with it, nearly got a good opportunity out in front of DeMorinville, but Grand Canyon cleans it up where they have an excellent tonight cleaning up after the Sooners' opportunities. Turned over at the blue line now. Horn couldn't get a shot away. It's still loose, and Demanchuk tries to force it away. Tristan Davidson also in on the play as Grand Canyon plays it into the near sideboards. It's going to be taken back up ice by Schmitz. He'll look down ice and put a forehand flip into the offensive zone. It's chased down by Czech Elias. 2-on-2 battle as Glass comes away with the puck. He'll play it soccer style to himself and flip it out towards neutral ice. Doesn't escape the zone quite yet. It's Demanchuk locked in combat trying to get away with it, and now Tristan Davidson out to ice. Davidson gains the offensive zone and is dispossessed by Gavin Ukele behind the net. Ukele surveying, putting it far down ice. One-on-one battle here as they connect in deep with Cummings. Cummings drops it off for Hoosby, and he'll try to drive his way in. Two Sooners collide with him. Will Blake forces the puck free, and now he'll get a touch pass in center ice that he couldn't quite catch up to. Sooners with numbers here, though. Baird and Blake trying to work their way into the offensive zone. Blake lost his stick on the play, and away go the Antelopes once again. Here comes Simchuk, and Simchuk tried to center it out in front, and the Sooners, it looks like, are going to go to the penalty kill here. Whenever they touch up, they do. Culbertson Vaughn got ran into. He's all right, but the Sooners are going to have to kill off a power play.
Really not what you want, especially down 3. When it feels like things are starting to turn the way in favor of the Crimson and Cream. Hunter Howe does have a case. I didn't really see any sort of hook that could have possibly been called against him. He played it well, but the GCU forward just kind of fell. Hooking is the call. So
8:40 to go in second period time as Sooners penalty kill will head out for the first time tonight. They had one power play earlier that Grand Canyon killed off, and now the Sooners will look to do the same to the Lopes here as Hunter Howe heads off for 2 minutes of rest. Draws contested, and Glass couldn't win it back as Grand Canyon will start to work it all the way around here. Here's Simchuk on the far side. Schmitz now trading places with Ukele. Ukele tried to center it. Here comes a shot that goes wide. Rebound is out in front, and Grand Canyon will recover. Here's Schmitz at the blue line. He'll turn to his forehand at the face-off dot. Walk and put it back below the net. Here comes a tight angle shot that goes wide and out of play. Put on by Jack Elias, looking for his second of the night.
Sooners got to clog those shooting lanes and keep the crease as clear as possible for BCB. That's how they've gotten a few goals in tonight based off screenshots, tips. And a few odd man rushes have put them at 4. But if the Sooners can kill this off and move forward with the remainder of the second period possibly going in their favor, that is what they would look forward to right now.
So 97 seconds left to kill off as Grand Canyon again wins it back. Schmitz this way for Simchuk. He'll go top of the ice. And now Simchuk again as he has a quick catch with Ukele. In deep again. Swearingen puts a hit on his man in the corner. And the Antelopes work it away below Culbertson Bond once again. Schmitz at the top of the key will work it this way. One-time opportunity from Simchuk. Didn't get all of it. And Culbertson Bond will swallow that one.
No, he didn't, but on that left face-off dot, there's a lone man, and it was Hunter Schmitz for the majority of that power play setup who was unmarked by any sort of Sooner man there. A pass had gotten to him, he would have had a wide-open look at BCB to possibly put them at 5.
So a crucial 70 seconds here for the Sooners game and perhaps for their season right now as Lemanis at the top of the zone will work it to his right side. He'll take control once again at the blue line. Work it near side. Cross-ice pass for Cummings. Lemanis, one-time shot deflected in front. Culbertson Bond got a piece of it and works his way back to his feet. Connor Horn pins him into the boards behind the net, buys his goalie some time, and Cummings will recover. He'll put it back in the corner for Tabucol. First goal scorer of the night, back to Cummings. Now Tabucol again behind the net. He loses an edge, and Carson Bassett will get to it. 2 Antelopes behind the net now will dispossess Sooner defenseman. Cummings again, back up top, Lemanis holding on. He'll shoot a wrist shot that Culbertson Bond detects. And with 33 seconds to go in the main advantage, he'll force another draw.
More importantly, a change for the Sooners. A lot of tired bodies out there as they get another fresh line to kill this power play here, this power play for GCU. And we'll see Hunter Howard turn in 33 seconds if a goal is not scored.
Remember, the Sooners bench is right by the penalty box here in the second period, so look for them to potentially try to force their way out and get a forward on the ice for Howe immediately should the puck be back in their own zone. We've seen him try it a few times here as the Antelopes win the draw back to Landmanis, and he'll go near side for Peterson. Oakland now Landmanis. One-timer, they thought about it with Cummings, and he gets caught in his skates. And they'll go in the corner for Tabucol again. Tabucol works it all the way around for Michael now. They'll play on his backhand. They work it back around once again for Cummings. He sees Landmanis. Landmanis thought about a one-timer, goes near side, shot deflected, and they score. It got through Culbertson Bond's wickets. And the Antelopes are up 5-1 with 6:48 to go in period number 2.
That's a dagger straight to the heart of the Sooners. They were so close, just under 10 seconds away from killing that power play chance for the Antelopes, but a weird shot and a weird tip that BCB probably would like to have back there as it did squeak right through his 5-hole. And has now produced a 4-goal lead for the Antelopes here, which is a tall, tall mountain to climb for the Sooners. But like we mentioned, goal differential is so important, so even if they don't come away with the win tonight, if they can at least make it close, that would definitely help in the eyes of the ACHA standings.
Certainly would, as off the draw, the Sooners try to force some pressure in deep. Couldn't do it, and Grand Canyon plays it back behind Jacob de Morinville. It's a very different Antelopes team this year than we saw last. They are improving quickly, and they'll play it to the near sideboards. Long cross-ice pass got deflected out in front. It ends up in a 2-on-1, but the puck skips on late period ice, and the Sooners will come away with a gift. Here's William Blake walking in, tried to drop it from Martin. It got caught in the skates, and once again, Grand Canyon will escape. Here's Horn trying to mark his man in. They'll work him with numbers now. Try to go cross-ice, but nobody was home. Just a little bit too shallow of an angle on the pass. And the Sooners will break back out once again. Here's Howe putting it off the board for Baird. Baird got hit up high, and he's all right, but the Sooners are going to go to the power play for the second time tonight. Good to see William Baird all right.
Yeah, that was a nasty high stick. Obviously, you got the fishbowl on for ACHA. You have to wear it. Otherwise, that probably would have knocked out a few teeth.
That'd be 4 minutes
yep.
without that mask.
A much-needed Sooner power play. Haven't looked the best this season with that, but it at least will give them a 2-minute chance here to try to put something on the board and respond before this second period terminates.
Sean Spring is the penalized party for Grand Canyon. He'll take a seat in the box as Glass leads his unit out, and they'll try to win the draw sideways. Sooners couldn't get a piece of it, and Grand Canyon does escape the zone here, and they'll try to establish a rush right on the penalty kill. Here comes a shot, and it goes just wide of the net. Culbertson Bond got a piece of it, and the Sooners have to dump it all the way back down. No icing here as DeMorinville comes out to play it. He'll drop it off behind his own net for Ukele. Now a turnover out in front. Best got a shot away that wouldn't go home. And now Tristan Glass will dive behind the net and try to get a piece of this one. William Blake in the corner now. Best and Glass working along with him. To the point now. Mondu holds it onside. He has Best. He has Payne on the far side. Goes to him. Payne all the way across for Blake. Blake's shot was tipped in front but couldn't find its way to the net. And Grand Canyon will get the puck back out to center. 1:15 to go on the power play here, and the Sooners get a partial change. Mondu works his way up, by his puck into the zone. Now they're offside, and we'll have to regroup here. Puck caught the netting. We'll get a draw at center ice.
A lot of minutes tonight for Aaron Best. We've seen him stay out there multiple times on both power play units as he heads off now for a quick breather, but he has played a lot for a forward so far. Has continued to produce chances for the Sooners like he has done since his inception with this team. Trying to get this game closer than it is right now.
Barone off the draw this way for Hunter Howe. He'll work it all the way around. Andrew Lowe, first Sooner there, but he's interrupted and intercepted by Luke Busher. Busher taking on two Sooners. Barone dives in deep from his defensive spot. Sooners still have 48 seconds to go on the main advantage, but Sinclair couldn't get it all the way across the zone. Here's a 2-on-2 rush the other way, and Grand Canyon will stop up and waste some time here. Tabico will push it all the way into OU ice. Barone behind his own net, drops it off for Hunter Howe, and 4:24 to go in the period. 31 on the power play. Pocket face the stick of Angelo. Barone put a hit to his man. The Sooners have a 2-on-1 developing. Now a 3-on-1 if they rush. Here's Barone. His shot off the pad of DeMorinville. What a save from the Antelope netminder. Stayed on his feet to boot, and the Sooners will recover here. Still have possession. Still dangerous here. Cavalcanti on his forehand. Wrapped it behind the net for Lowe. Lowe back up to the point for Sinclair. Sinclair still onside, had that puck deflected into the bench, and the coaching staff for OU will scramble.
Oh, what a chance there for Jake Barone. He scores that 9 out of 10 times, and he honestly on that, what led up to the development of that play, probably should have taken an interference penalty as he hit a man that was nowhere near the puck that allowed for that chance to even come to fruition, but hockey karma always has a way of finding itself, but a fantastic save from DeMorinville as he has continued to look strong tonight, facing 18 shots.
So a quick shot off the draw from Declan Martin is blockered away by DeMorinville, and Will Blake keeps it in the zone. Back at even strength now as Baird's shot jumped up on DeMorinville, but he caught it out of midair and will melt it back down. You can see some of the Utah Utes here taping their sticks in the far side of the arena, getting ready for a tilt against UCO tonight. We'll flip-flop the teams. GCU will play UCO twice, and OU will play Utah twice.
It's an odd weekend, but an interesting one to say the least, as 3-game series back-to-back-to-back are so tough on every team.
So off the draw, 3 Sooners will converge on the puck. Swearingen is in his defensive spot. Martin back at the point will flip one on net that DeMorinville swatted at, couldn't get a piece of. Bassett and Baird back-to-back on the boards, couldn't get a hold of the puck. And now Grand Canyon will once again work it back out to center. Open man on the far side is Chekalias. He'll try to drive into the zone. He'll turn tightly on Martin and drop it off this way for Henriksen. Top of the point now, Ukele backhanded in past Carson Bassett. And now Simchuk will force Bassett off the play. Here's Glass into the corner. He got it out of the zone now, and the Sooners will chase it back out to center. 2:51 to go in the second period as Blake, skipping puck on Ukele, nearly forced a turnover in deep. As the Sooner forward still forechecking. GCU gets it back out to center. Picked up by Olsen. He'll get it near side. Here's Ukele's shot off the mask of Culbertson Bond. He'll melt it down quickly.
The one thing that I really think has determined the outcome of this game so far is just the way the passing has gone for both teams. They've kind of decreased in efficiency for the Sooners, and the Antelopes on the other side of things have pretty much connected with just about everything they've tried to foster here in the second period, and it's shown in the goal department for sure.
3-piece on the Sooners so far in period number 2 after a 2-1 opening frame for the Antelopes. As off the draw, Cavalcanti starts his engine. He'll race down the near sideboard and try to intercept Landmanis. Nearly dispossessed him as Landmanis turns away and will now drop it off for Sean Spring. Spring on his forehand. Barone blew a tire at the blue line. Back to his feet now. And we'll get a hold of the puck here on his forehand. Drops it off for Lowe. Lowe puts it in the zone where it's patted away by DeMorinville, and Tristan Glass has some time to reach the puck. Backhand play behind the net. Landmanis gets to it on his forehand. Cavalcanti there trying to put a play together. He has Glass joining him now behind the goal line. Glass to his forehand. Couldn't drive the puck away. And Landmanis once again plays it way up into the air and down the ice. Arm is up for icing, and it will be whistled for as Goldstein touches up.
All right, Sooners really need to win this face-off here and try to get a goal on the board before going into this third if they want to have a prayer of coming back tonight with the way GCU has been playing. We've seen things kind of improve in the offensive zone for them in this period. Defensively, they've had some hiccups, and that's what's been the difference. But if the Sooners can get something on the board here with the remaining minute 49, it would make the third a lot easier to handle.
So Mondu to the dot, opposite Colby Donovan. Mondu wins it back. Howe's shot is detected by DeMorinville, and he'll immediately freeze it up.
It's what you want. You want to keep creating those shots right off the faceoffs. Try to catch DeMorinville lacking in his crease, but he's been sound ever since that subpar awareness in the first period led to the first Cavalcanti goal and the only goal for the Sooners tonight.
Been excellent between the pipes, saving 21 of 22 so far, and Grand Canyon wins the draw to wrap it all the way around Horn. Stops the puck up before it leaves the zone and keeps it onside, but it ends up in the middle where Grand Canyon will take possession back. Driving this way, Tritzler, he's dispossessed, and now Mondu gets it up to Best, and he'll spin into zone. Best took a hit to make the play, and Grand Canyon will wrap things up here and put it back out to center. Hunter Howe off the boards for Best, to try to wind it in for Mondu. Mondu nearly put a man into the boards, thinks better of it right in front of the official, and we'll put it back to the other direction where Grand Canyon gives chase. Tabucal into the corner now. He'll spin away, put it back top of the point for Ukele, and now wrapped in for Mondu. Antelopes still working north to south here in the offensive zone. They'll finally get it back up to the point where Robertson holds on to it. Robertson shot. Culbertson Bond got a piece of it with 50 seconds to go in the period, and Grand Canyon will retain possession. Puck off the top of the stanchion here. Hunter Howe got a backhand to it. Tabucal intercepts his pass and will stick handle around Howe. Howe intercepts him back in return, and looks like the Sooners will finally get this back out to center ice. They do. It's Aaron Best with some space. Best walks in, backhand shot off the pad of DeMorinville. Payne nearly forced the puck free. He's got Tristan Glass with him. 26 to go in the period, and Glass's shot is pitched high into the air and into the netting.
Tough angle for Best to try to get any sort of power on that backhand, although it was a good effort from him. As we have seen so many times throughout this game and the last few that he had played in, DeMorinville really isn't going to have too many problems with that. The puck wasn't elevated, and he also, Best had a trailer with him for GCU, pestering him, making sure he couldn't get that puck to his forehand to generate a better chance.
22.7 to go. Puck is dropped. Glass tried to go forwards with it. Ukele will wrap it all the way around the boards, and Cummings watches it go through the legs of both him and Bassett. Sooners 14 seconds to respond now. GCU in onside. Here's Cummings walking into his forehand, and what a save by Culbertson Bond. With 7 seconds to go, he keeps the Sooners within a prayer of this one, and that is how period number 2 will come to a close, with GCU forcing it back down ice with a big rush again.
Mastodonic save from Culbertson Bond's left pad, as that really would have sealed things tonight had that have squeaked through him. Sooners have work to do, but they can't really be upset with themselves with how they've, kind of gone about things in this period. As words being exchanged from the bench and center ice, as, like you said, the Cotton Bowl style exit is going to possibly create some problems as tensions rise in games in this division. But
Stotley, you've heard this one before. An ACHA matchup might get a bit chippy heading into the third period. But we'll take a break as well here. Sooners with a lot of work to do tonight here at Arctic Edge, down 5-1 to Grand Canyon. Welcome back to Arctic Edge Arena, where things have been turned topsy-turvy on the Sooners tonight. 2:39 to go in the intermission. Back alongside Christian Markey, I'm Caleb Shaw here, bringing you all the action tonight and tomorrow. Sooners have a mountain to climb in front of them, and, we were talking during the break a little bit. It doesn't feel, impossible for the Sooners here, just because they've been getting quality looks and just been getting stoned by DeMorinville so much, but, you don't want to rely on making up for 40 minutes of puck luck.
It's really hard to do, and, as weird as it sounds in this situation, the Sooners still could hypothetically lose this game in a certain manner depending on how this third period goes and be in decent shape withstanding in the ACHA rankings based off a goal differential against a better-ranked opponent. So, although 4 goals is hard to tie and come back to, and then anything after that, getting a win would be monumental. Even just getting 2 or 3 back and being within 1 or 2 of GCU would do wonders to how this season kind of wraps up. The ideal situation for this weekend going into things for the Sooners obviously would have been to win all 3 games. However, a more realistic approach would have been maybe perhaps winning today and then splitting the series with Utah, who is a much better ranked opponent in the standings, in order to kind of keep them at bay until UCO looms next weekend, and you know how things go with that. So it doesn't seem like the Sooners are out of it, although the score says otherwise based on how much we've talked about the importance of the remaining games in this schedule. There's still different ways that, different outcomes that could possibly happen with a loss that still put them in good standing.
Certainly the case, and the Sooners here, they put up 11 and 12 shots on goal in the first and second periods respectively. Grand Canyon 12 and 12, so the momentum has been pretty even throughout the game. Grand Canyon, the only team to score on special teams. They cracked the Sooners' penalty kill with just 9 seconds to go on their most recent attempt.
Yeah, that was a tough one, especially because you felt like, at least in a 3-goal deficit, there's some hope of comeback and at least making it a close game. But when you get that 4th goal for, as an opposing team trying to come back from that, it's really hard to do. And we'll see what happens here, but the Sooners have a lot of work to do. And you mentioned it, puck luck kind of being a factor. If a few bounces go the Sooners' way, and they don't run into a hot goalie like it seems like is brewing right now with DeMorinville so far tonight, then it's a much different game. And if on the other side of things, GCU doesn't get a few bounces their way and a turnover here and there and a tip shot and a 5-hole let in by BCB, it's a much different game, and it should be based on how the shots are, but it's just not.
Looks like Trey Atanasio will be in net for the third period for Oklahoma. Culbertson Bond out in a backwards hat to perhaps save some energy for the doubleheader against Utah Friday and Saturday night. DeMorinville still in net for the Antelopes. Don't expect any change there unless something spectacular were to happen. So some more quality minutes for Trey Atanasio, who is undefeated as a starter this year in 2024 and has played in relief of Culbertson Bond twice as well this season, once leading up to this game tonight.
Well, in the back of my mind, I was wondering, and I was going to bring it up at some point or another, how would the minutes be split this weekend? Because it is, with the slate ahead of the Sooners, a tough one to kind of, just take on BCB by himself and have him handle all those hot minutes. So Atanasio getting an interchange here in this third period will certainly give BCB some much-needed rest before the next 2 games against Utah.
So 20 minutes back on the clock for period number 3, and we will start it off. OU wins the draw forwards, and Landman, as largest player on the ice, spins it away from 2 of the Sooners and will play it back. I was speaking with some of the UCO broadcast crew in the Crow's Nest between periods, and one of the big things they had spoken about in their meetings this week, how much faster GCU has gotten with the Sooners knocking on the door. The Antelopes are a much different team this year compared to last. Both of these host teams here this weekend played them twice last year, and we'll be seeing a different beast on the ice this season. Lowe plays it up ice for Cavalcanti. He chips it in, so no icing. As diving in, Sean Spring will play it on his forehand. Glasses there to intercept the pass, and 40 seconds gone. The Sooners getting the forecheck established pretty well here early on. Glass along the wall one more time here. He's still locked in it with Hunter Schmitz. Besson trying to give a helping hand. He takes a hit from behind, and a penalty is upcoming against GCU. Bass is going to draw one and put the Sooners in the power play.
Ow.
Yeah.
Best is really in pain. Man.
So 2 of the Sooners tonight a little bit banged up, and we will hopefully see Aaron Best be all right. Hopefully he didn't take his head into the boards like it looked like, but
he wasn't nursing an arm. It did appear to be a head. I mean, some argument there for maybe a major, but it was a cheap shot, to say the least.
So Sean Spring to the box, 2 minutes, 19:04 to go in period number 3, and the Sooners given the gift here, and the window remains open, if only by a couple of inches.
I think we're going to get a little referee discussion here with the bench as to the length of where Best's pain is, and they're going to talk it over and maybe consider major. In the NHL, the rule is if you draw blood on a high stick or any sort of dangerous play like that, that's what produces more penalty minutes. But here with full concealment on the helmets, it's harder to get that. But
looks like it'll stay at 2 for the moment. It will. I can see the official pointing out 2 fingers to the Sooners bench. So 19:04 to go, and the Sooners, I think we alluded to a minute ago here, have got to seize momentum here and make this a 3-goal game as quick as they can if they want to try and get back in this thing. Sinclair to the dot. He's got Cavalcanti and Lowe flanking him. Barone and Howe up on the blue line in Grand Canyon. Wins it back and quickly tries to wrap it around. They will. It escapes Hunter Howe. And Gabriel Trichler will push it all the way back down to Perry Atanasio. Hunter Howe in his own zone starts his engine, goes near side, where Andrew Lowe gains the offensive zone. 1:41 to go on the power play. Ukele behind his own net will play it way out to center ice and wrap it around the net for Atanasio to play. Trey drops it off for Jake Barone, and now Hunter Howe once again starting his engine. Near side again for Lowe, evades him just a little bit too far that time, and the pass is sent back in. Atanasio will cover it up. As the Antelopes driving in there was Benjamin Oakland trying to make something happen.
Sloppy start to this power play. The GCU defense has not subsided here in this third period. You think they would maybe peel things back a bit, but they're trying to kind of continue their offensive defensive game here even on the penalty kill, and are doing so successfully.
So Sooners win the draw back. Here's Mondu behind his own net, and he'll get on his horse and drive out to center ice here. He goes near side for Glass. Glass gets the puck into the zone, wraps it around Blake. First one there. He'll stop it up and try to back in one into the slot. Nothing doing there as Payne will give chase back out to center ice. Half the power play now gone. Sooners yet to get a shot on goal on it. Here's Payne, spins away from Oakland, and he will start up from behind Atanasio's net. He'll turn away at the blue line and survey his option. Goes off the wall, looking ahead for Glass. Glass got to the puck. And now in the skates of William Blake. Blake gets it back to his forehand, spins away. And now surveying Blake on his backhand, drops it off for Mondu. Mondu keeps it in the zone for the moment, and now it escapes the blue line. Sooners got to touch up. Payne backskating, 24 to go in the main advantage. He gets it this way from Martin. Martin into the offensive zone onside, but it's whipped all the way back out and down the ice for Atanasio. Play it over to Nate Payne. Still even shots on goal, 5-1 where it counts though. As Mondu near side for Davidson. Davidson has some space, tried to drop it for Glass. Now Mondu walks back in, his backhand shot off the goalpost. Rebound is there and waved off. They'll say it did not cross the line.
It did, but with the net being knocked off, I think that's why.
So with the net off the moorings, no chance at a goal there for the Sooners. 2 seconds to go on the power play when we resume play here. Presumably to DeMorinville's left side. Glass in the face-off circle. Davidson tried to drive in there. He does get to the puck, and he'll spin it on his forehand behind the net. Back to even strength here as Landman has lost an edge behind the net. Back to his feet now playing defense as Demanchuk escapes with the puck. He'll play it back up top for Howe. Howe winding, faking a shot for Horn. Now his shot tipped in front, and Warrenville will hang on to this one.
Although the power play didn't really generate anything, these last 2 chances as things have evened up on ice in terms of bodies, have produced a lot better chances for the Sooners. So if they can just get something before the 15-minute marker and just chip away each 5-minute increment or so remaining in this period, it'll be a lot easier to manage this comeback.
So Landmanis will play to the far sideboards now. Starting his engine is Simchuk. He'll shoot one that's deflected by Bassett into the netting, and Adonazio privy to the shot, back to his feet. Quick turnaround here tonight as Utah and UCO will drop the puck at 7:15 Central Time here. If you want to catch that game, you can see it on UCO's broadcast channel on YouTube. So puck one back by Simchuk, and a weak shot from Ukele goes wide to the right side of Culbertson Bond, and Martin will backhand it back out of the zone. Puck picks a funky hop off the inboards. Martin paws it down, took a stick up high, and now it's locked along the sideboards in Grand Canyon territory. 16:19 to go in period number 3. Blake still diving for the puck now as the Antelopes get it pulled away. Ukele will drop it off here, and starting up ice, here comes Colby Donovan. And a late icing call from the officials here, as it looks like a couple of Antelope players dove in just a little bit too late to keep the play alive.
Yeah, this matchup between Utah and UCO is so important for so many different reasons. Perhaps some of the Sooners will want to catch a look at that because Utah obviously coming up the next 2 games and then UCO the next weekend, and kind of see how their late season runs have, turned out for them and what their game plans have looked like against each other. It's really important to kind of get a feel for that.
You can hear some of the UCO players warming up now on the far side as Payne puts a shot on that is just held onto by DeMorinville. Escaped him 5-hole, but he found it in his skates at the last moment, and that's just the type of night it's been for Coach Argonius, the Sooners.
Yeah, nearly shades of the first goal from Cavalcanti there is DeMorinville wasn't ready for the shot, didn't know where the puck was. Payne nearly got it through.
After the draw here, Grand Canyon whips it all the way around the zone again, and with speed, they'll press up the center. Potential 2-on-1 here. Simchuk diving to the net. Lead pass for him is deflected in the zone by Barone, and the Sooners draw another power play here. Somebody went down behind the play.
That's absurd. That is the third time tonight,
Mondu,
where their sticks have just come up flying, and I mean, that's poor discipline on their part. They're going to get him for a slash, they say.
It is a high-flying team here. It is Grand Canyon. They move at 110% for all 60 minutes. And it's put the Sooners in the power play for the 3rd time now. And you said they had to convert on the last one. Well, you want to convert twice on this one if it were within the rule book. Grand Canyon does win the drawback, and they'll flip it high into the air out to center ice. Bounces back down near the Horsehead no-use zone, and Hunter Howe will spin behind his own net. We've seen him on the ice quite a bit after taking that puck to the leg earlier, so a tough game for the Sooners' leading defenseman, and a head-hunting puck sends photographer Katie Dolberry ducking for cover.
Yeah, normally Michael Signoli takes a spot over there. Last home game against Missouri State, he nearly got decapitated by 2 different sticks and 3 different pucks all within like a 5-minute span as he looked up with his hands raised to me up here in the booth. I didn't really have an answer for him.
Yeah. Sinclair back to the draw, flanked by Cavalcanti and Lowe. He'll face off against Michael Lewis. Pucks in all the way into OU zone right off the hop here, and 1:35 on the power play. Barone will play in his own territory. Drops it off for Hunter Howe, and Howe far side for Sinclair. Starting his engine, he'll wrap it all the way around the zone. No icing here as Cavalcanti plays it on the forehand, and a late call is made back at the blue line. Well, somehow, Christian, the Sooners iced the puck and simultaneously were offside.
Yeah, I don't...
And we'll take it all the way back into Sooner ice here. As the official, McGarrah, will deliver the news to Coach Arvanius and his staff on the bench. So after the draw, Barone will take possession here. 15 minutes to go in regulation time tonight. Hunter Howe will wind out of the offensive zone, plays it off the sideboards here. This is going to miss everybody. No icing, it's waved off. And the Sooners will be on the attack here. Here's Sinclair. This one misses everybody. Another icing waved off here. 14:47 to go, 1 minute left on the power play. And Howell will start things up. Here comes Tristan Glass through the neutral zone. His pass is deflected at center ice, and they'll head back into their own zone. Mondu once again. He'll play it to Glass again. Far side for Payne, and he'll wind a shot on the DeMorinville. Deposits back out into the slot. Here's Glass holding on to it. He'll try to center one for Best. Wasn't home, and the Sooners now work it around. Here's a low shot from Blake that was deflected away, and Glass now first one to it. 29 to go on the power play. Glass behind the net finds William Blake. Blake up top for Mondu. Mondu this way for Payne. Payne will survey with 20 to go. He'll light a shot go. Was deflected in front, pawed down by Ukele, and with 15 to go in the main advantage, Grand Canyon will escape the zone and get a line change. That just might do it for the Sooners power play. 6 seconds to go. Here is Mondu. Tries to get one more rush started. He'll gain the zone. He'll push it right down Broadway, and Nate Payne into the corner now. He evades a check. Keeps it on his stick. Turns away. We're back at full strength now. Payne again behind the net, got it stuck in the skates of Ukele, gets it back to his forehand, and tries to play it off the post to him, man. Clever idea there, nothing doing. Michael Lewis trying to gain the zone. He was upended. 3 players go down, no call given, as Nate Payne tries to escape the forechecking Corey Podock. Glass on his forehand, couldn't get it away. Puck to the blue line now, and Grand Canyon keeps it in the zone for the moment. There's Aaron Best trying to force his way out of the zone, couldn't do it. Spinning player at the line, that's Michael Lewis driving in, gets a stick at the puck first, and now Cabico right out in front, and his shot is saved by Adonazio. He makes a nice stop in his first test.
We mentioned how the players were flying in that opening frame like it was Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Now we're slowed down to a snail's pace here in terms of pace of the game. Both teams really tired here with how hard they played those first 2 frames.
So right off the draw, Swearingen taken down and still pinned down to the ice by, that looked to be Chakalias, who has a goal tonight, and the Sooners will force it back out of the zone. Here's Wright at center ice. He'll try to force it back in. Cummings, Chakalias, first 2 to it as Swearingen still on the ice. He'll push it back out to the sideboards. Tristan Davidson is there as well. Haven't called his name in a little bit. Back out on the ice for the Sooner freshman is Swearingen finally will escape the zone. He finds Demanchik on the far side. 12:33 to go. Near side pass for Davidson. Goes off the boards. He'll get it to his forehand. Nice toe drag move, and he couldn't get the shot away. But that was nifty looking.
Certainly was, and I think if a Sooner wanted a goal ever so badly on this team, it would be Tristan Davidson the most. With his limited minutes so far this season, he returned to the score sheet against Colorado a few weekends ago with an assist to Tristan Glass for the Sooners' 5th goal in a 5-2 victory, but he would like to get one tonight for sure.
He's looked really well in his time so far, or looked really good, in the swell time he has spent on the ice so far this evening. Back at the center ice here, Grand Canyon starting to bleed the clock a little bit. We're down to 11:54 to go. As it's dumped back in by Luke Busher. Carson Bassett behind his own net. Puck is deflected out to the blue line, and Grand Canyon will keep it in the zone for the moment. It evades the outstretched paw of Jake Barone, and the Antelopes retaining possession will put it back behind Adonazio. Olsen tried to center a pass out in front. Nobody was home. Gets it back to his tape now, and William Baird gives chase. Finds the puck on the sideboard. He has Martin 2-on-2 down the wing as Baird plays it off the wall. Landman is first one there. He'll wrap it all the way around the boards. Glass tries to steal off the edge. He can, and takes down Olsen in the process. Arm stay down on the officials as Glass trying to force the puck away. He's got Baird alongside him. And the puck finally comes off the wall. Tristan Glass. Baird looks to the point, gets it back up for Howe now into the slot for Martin. Martin trying to go deep with it. He puts a quick shot on that was protected by DeMorinville. Baird again pinned to the glass here as Tristan Glass can't get away from the sideboards. Baird and Martin now giving chase along the edge. Puck squirts free from them as Tristan Glass, first one to it now in the corner. He'll play it to his backhand. Tries to wrap it behind the net, finds some space for Declan Martin. Finally, he gets dispossessed by Hunter Schmitz. 10:32 to go. Antelopes force a turnover in the neutral zone. Goldstein throws a hit to try to negate any scoring chance of Cavalcanti. First one to it, plays out on his backhand. And played back out to center. Sooners in the offensive zone. It's Finally dumped back out by the Antelopes. Hunter Howe will play on his backhand. Skipped on him a bit, but he finds Goldstein. And his pass deflected at center ice, goes all the way in, no icing here, and we're halfway through period number 3 with no scores. Sooners leading the shots on goal department 5-2, but yet to crack to Warrenville since period number 1, who has been excellent tonight. Swearingen couldn't get a stick to the puck, now Lowe will swing it around for Cavalcanti. Sooners have some space to work with. Here comes Cavalcanti on his forehand, couldn't pull it away from the diving in Ukele. And 9:39 to go. Sooners are going to go back to the power play here. Ukele touches up, and it looks like a cross-check going to be called behind the play.
Yeah, a bit of going tit for tat with Andrew Lowe, and
We'll always call the one that comes second.
Yeah, and that's exactly what just happened. We'll see who the player is here for GCU that's going to get called, I believe. Cameron Nealion. Unless they're going to get both.
Yeah, no power play up on the scoreboard yet in front of us here at Arctic Edge, and we'll take a look below. Sooner Sinbin stays locked shut for the moment. Payne out of the talk with the officials. Looks like it'll remain just a single penalty at the moment on Corey Podak for cross-checking, and that is how it reflects on the scoreboard. 9:36 to go, and well, if you're looking for drama, the Sooners have a chance to create some here. 30 shots on goal, and they've only cracked in Warrenville once.
0 for 3 on the power play, though. Statistically speaking, they really want to get one here for just some moral victory in this game where it's been hard to find.
Officials having a conversation on the near side of the ice in the GCU zone. Now they'll break it up, and looks like we're about ready to get underway. Best, Blake, and Glass, the forwards out. Payne will man the blue line along with Mondu, so 5 forwards out for Coach A right now. Off the draw, Best tries to go forwards with it. It's picked up by GCU, and a fan attempt to get out of the zone. Second try, they will. Mondu will baseball bat that one down to Trey Adanazio, who plays it to his forward. Mondu from his own zone, this way for Payne. Payne on his forehand, tried to get it into the slot. Now Best walking in, he'll spin, try to get a shot away. Still 3 faces there as Blake finally got a piece of the puck and couldn't put it on net. Best goes down behind the play, this way for Payne. Payne will wrap it all the way around the boards for Tristan Glass, who's chased by Sean Spring. Mondu this way for Payne. Payne turns away from his opponent and will dive it back in. Spring first one to it now as Payne will dive back in once again. Glass top of the point for Mondu. They'll play a quick catch now as Glass couldn't get away from his marking defender and Schmitz. And now Payne to his backhand along the sideboards. He'll go cross ice for Blake. Blake winds and shoots one just wide, and Nate Payne will hold it onside. Payne evades one man. He'll dive into the slot, try to get a shot away that he fanned on, and Best will clean up the loose change. Goes around the net for Tristan Glass. Sooners getting some good time here on this power play as Best spins and shoots one wide, but a little bit too shallow. As Mondu will pick up the loose change now and go cross ice for Blake. 45 seconds to go on the power play here as Glass in below the net. Puck evades the zone. Blake couldn't hold it in, and the Sooners will have to regroup here at center ice as Mondu cuts his way in. 4 new bodies on his Mondu, the lone forechecker. He will pin his man at the boards. That's Ukele. Cavalcanti gets in. Mondu nearly forced a turnover as the puck stays in GCU ice. Sinclair at the blue line to Barone. They look for Cavalcanti, and the puck is sent all the way back down to Trey Adanazio. 14 seconds to go in the power play. Sinclair dogged by Tabucal.
Much better improvement on this power play than the latter of the 2 that the Sooners have had this period. So that's something to look forward to in this game here as they continue to try to break things out.
Here comes Lowe. He'll drive on his forehand. It dispossessed from behind. He'll stay in control for the moment where he's taken down from behind. Staying on his feet now. Cavalcanti comes away with the puck. He'll drive behind the net. Tried to feed it out in front. Nobody was home. Sinclair looking for the back door. And GCU will finally kill off this power play. 7:18 to go. They'll dump it down to Trey Adanazio. So here's Lowe right below us. He'll play it in the middle of the ice for Sinclair. And Sinclair right down Broadway. Tries to cut in. He still has it with him, but loses the puck in his skates. And now up along the sideboards. He'll fight for it once again. Locked in combat with a couple of GCU defensemen, most notably Luke Busher. Yeah, Stamancha loses the puck at the blue line. Busher once again plays it back out to center. It's tipped on into the OU zone where Adanazio will melt this one down for a draw with the on-rushing Braden Olsen.
6:45 left. on a positive note for the Sooners, they haven't conceded a goal this period, but they are still yet to crack GCU after the opening frame.
Yeah, about 7 or 8 minutes into the game when Cavalcanti was able to score, and the Sooners here win a draw. Tried to play it off the boards. It caught a body up high and will harmlessly fall back down to the ice. Adonazio watches this one go by as Carson Bassett behind his own net will backhand it over to Swearingen. Swearingen in for Demanchuk as they played back behind his own net. Intercepted now by Olsen, but after Demanchuk, Johnny on the spot now will get it out of the zone. He will back in one looking for the glass, but he found that low netting on the far side of the ice.
A lot of frustrated boys in the Crimson and Cream right now as reality of this loss starting to set in, as it just seemed like GCU had an answer to just about every sort of offensive effort that the Sooners could produce. They would come back and get a goal and just kind of show them how it's done and really frustrate this entire team. But they have to be a goldfish and hold their heads up high as 2 more games loom ahead. They are important ones, especially coming after the loss tonight.
So GCU back in the offensive zone. A one-time opportunity from Cummings wouldn't make it all the way through, and Andrew Lowe will start his engine back into center. A long shot on to Morinville. He'll hang on to this one and freeze play at 5:59 to go. 31 of 32, and just has been an excellent performance from Jacob de Morinville.
We have the ability to study what happened to GCU that has allowed them to produce such a tough team to play against. I would love to know, because they started out this year really, really rough and have come back and really put on a show for the latter half of the season.
Back in the top 25, knocking on the door of the tournament, and should they steal a game, it's Demanchuk off the draw. What a save to Morinville again! I was going to say, if they can steal one from UCO, they will likely solidify their place in the tournament. With saves like that, they very well might.
Really don't expect anything less at this point from DeMarinville. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
What a show. 5:47 to go, and the draw will come right outside GCU territory. Blake, Martin, and Baird the forwards, and Blake will win it over to Martin. Lost into the skates of his opponent in Corey Podock. And now Bassett will play it over to Goldstein. Goldstein this way from Martin. He chips it into the offensive zone, giving chase now after Sean Spring. Spring takes a hit to make the play, and GCU will get a hold of the puck. Blake throws a hit, and Bassett holds it in the zone. Martin ties his man up as Blake tried to get possession of the puck. Couldn't do it. It's back at the center ice now, and GCU will start their engines back out. Diving out this way is Colby Donovan. Donovan tried to get it back out in front for himself. Nothing doing there. Now he holds on behind the net. Donovan will drop it back off once again, where a shot opportunity is fanned on, and Goldstein will play it back out to center ice. Here's Baird, tried to chip it ahead from Martin. Couldn't find him. 5:01 to go now, as once again Donovan below us will chip it into OU ice. Goldstein again hanging onto that puck, surveying his options. Will go to his right side for Bassett, who looks up ice and starts his engine. This way for Davidson. Tristan Davidson, the younger of the two brothers, tries to drive his way in. Nothing doing there, and the puck caught in the skates. 2 players buried in for the Sooners. Tried to force it away, couldn't do it. And Fritzler will hold on to it for Grand Canyon. Davidson again forces a turnover, enters the zone onside, and he'll dive wide. He forces a shot onto Morinville that he chips to the side. Cavalcanti back out in front for Davidson. His shot couldn't get it home. It was pitched up into the air in the blue paint. Tristan Davidson nearly cracking the score column. Manchuk up top for Barone. Barone, his wrist shot deflected. Rebound is available and still loose in the point. Swearingen, he'll let one go. Score!
Well, you'll take that. But what an individual effort before that by Tristan Davison. He is best in open ice and creates that entire chance there for the Sooners just based on his ability to dangle the puck well and produce opportunity after opportunity. But Swearingen's the one that cleans up the loose change and at least makes it a little more respectable on the scoreboard for the Sooners.
And it'll speak to the computer rankings moving forwards. Plus the Sooners a little bit better in that goal differential category. If they can get 1 or 2 more back here, it'll certainly make a big difference. 3-goal difference now, so don't put it past the OU staff to pull Adonazio here and get 6 skaters out and see if they can make something happen. And so Oklahoma has life late in this game. Swearingen's 3rd of the year on a quick shot that beat DeMorinville below his right arm. And still out there is the Sooners' biggest defenseman. Swearingen now puts it to his forehand, works it around for Lowe. And back center of the ice now for Glass. Intercepted by Grand Canyon. It was taken away by Nealon. Henriksen also out there. He's trying to get a piece of the puck. Spins into the boards now where it's taken away by Barone. Still fought for, and Lowe will come away with the puck now. Tried to play it off the boards to himself. Couldn't do it. Still loose here. And Glass watches it evade his stick. All the way across now for Swearingen. He'll play it on his backhand off the boards. Cavalcanti looking for Lowe now. Couldn't get it to himself now and winds into the offensive zone. Back out to center here. Puck evades the stick of Goldstein and skips its way in, and Semchuk will be the first one to it. If he gets any chance of icing here, he's double teamed by the defensive pairing of Swearingen and Goldstein. Back up for Donovan now. He'll spin with it to Cummings. Top of the key now where it's held on to by Sean Spring. Worked all the way around. A weak shot deflected in front by Goldstein. Back-end opportunity wouldn't go. And Cummings now back to the point. Here's Spring holding on to it. He'll walk the line, put it to the center of the ice. Jack Elias' shot was deflected out wide. 2:38 to go now. As the Sooners find themselves in a 5-2 hockey game. Just joining us late this evening, 1-1 about 7 minutes into the game, and then the Antelopes exploding onto the scene with 4 straight. Sooners got one back in the waning minutes of this game as Davidson taken down at center ice. No call given here, 2:20 to go. More bodies hit the deck here as Jack Elias works his way in. He's hit down by Bassett and will struggle back to his feet. Carson Glass in his backhand to Davidson, who you mentioned a few times has looked excellent tonight so far. One of the best Sooner forwards, even though he hasn't scored. Bassett plays it off his foot. Now Tristan Davidson once again starts his engine at center ice. He'll play it between two defenders. Couldn't get a stick back to it. And 1:53 to go now. Grand Canyon will start back out. It's Ugele and Donovan, intercepted by Mondu. He'll spin it back around the other way. It was deflected, and now he'll play it to Manchuk. Manchuk works this one all the way around. Here's Best, and it looks like it is whistled late for icing.
Yeah, to the naked eye, that goal from Swearingen looks a bit pointless. However, it really does matter, like we have talked about so many times tonight. Finally get a stoppage or play to regroup about it, but if they can get one more here with 1:37 seconds left, it would really do wonders. We'll see what happens, though.
So, $1.37 for the Sooners to make some more noise here and try to impress the SDAA computer rankings. Benjamin Oakland on the draw here, won it back for Grand Canyon, and he'll back into the boards now. Time still winding on the Sooners, 1:27 to go. Best plays it out of the zone. He'll try to force it along the boards. Couldn't power it past his man. Now Mondu gets into the offensive territory. Played this way by Donovan. Nate Payne got a piece of it. He'll turn, gain the zone with Mondu. Best charging the net. Mondu shot high and wide. Held onto by Horn now. He'll dive in, tried to look for a tip, none available. And Payne chases it into the corner. 65 seconds to go here. Looked out in the slot for Horn. Nothing doing. And GCU back out to center now. Diving in Benjamin Oakland. Couldn't find his place to go with the puck. And now Best will flip this one into offensive territory. And
apologies.
DeMorinville will take control of this one and freeze it down. 48.9 to go. 35 shots on goal for the Sooners. 27 for Grand Canyon. They've been held to only 3 here in the third period, but nonetheless, the damage is already done.
Yeah, not much you can do now, but just kind of keep your head up. Don't do anything silly or stupid that it's going to get yourself injured for the next 2 games or maybe get a suspension. The Sooners don't really do that, though, so they shouldn't have to worry about that character-wise. This team is very sound.
So Glass on his backhand, couldn't get it out of the scrum in the corner. Now he does. Bassett couldn't control it at the blue line. Goldstein chases after it, had it deflected away from him and play it off the glass. Now Landmanis will backskate into his own zone and play it off the boards here. 30 seconds to go tonight as Lowe against his zone this way. Cavalcanti held backhand, it goes across, looking for Tristan Glass. Nobody home that time. And Bassett plays it in deep, 21 to go. Landmanis intercepts and he'll break out to center here, 18 to go. He's dispossessed at the blue line as wind it in one more time. Glass and Lowe racing to the puck here. Lowe plays it off the boards. Glass dives in. 8 seconds to go now as the GCU bench looks towards the clock and starts the countdown. 4 seconds to go. 3. They'll dive in with a 2-on-1. And as time expires, puck wouldn't find its way home. Adonazio make the save. but we have a 5-2 decision. Grand Canyon has come in here and stunned the Sooners in the first of a 3-game series.
That save was important by Adanasio at the end of that. He really had to stretch out for that, and if that goal had gone in with time remaining, the Swearingen goal would have been basically pointless at that point. But Sooners are in an interesting spot here where they really are now kind of forced to grab 2 games from Utah, which is going to be a tall task without the puck even having been dropped yet so far between the two.
Yeah, we'll keep a close eye on Utah and UCO tonight and be back tomorrow for more OU hockey action here. A big thank you for your patience tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as we got our audio issues solved in period number 2. We'll be back tomorrow night at, once again, 3:45 for pregame, 4:15 puck drop against Utah. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and if you're here with us in the arena tonight, a safe drive home and a great rest of your weekend. Thanks for watching OU Hockey TV.